Hi guys, welcome back to another Explain 12 video. I thought I would finally showcase the new 12.2 update, which has really made Explain look super beautiful. But of course, there was some disclaimers that if you update, you should have done it from a clean install, etc. Which is why I was a bit hesitant to do it, but I thought, let's do it anyway. It's not that I have too many add-ons that will kind of impact whether I didn't really have any Lua scripts, etc. So it should be fine. As you can see, it looks pretty damn good. We're here at Auckland, and we have a bit of an, I guess not an overcast, but at least some clouds showing. Some don't look too pretty, but this looks pretty nice, and I guess the lights together with the weather makes it look really good. It reminds me of that one Lua script I used for the clouds, the cloud tweaker, but even better than that. So it's actually very nice, the new update. Unfortunately, I had some CTD issues with with the new plane that I actually got to try it out in the new version. So I got the 767-400 by FlightFactor. I've always wanted to see the 767 with a kind of 777 layout on the virtual cockpit, and it's a very good plane. I think this was the one that was released just before the 777 out of the FlightFactor products. Could be wrong though, but I think this was, yeah, so quite a new product in that sense, or new, but relatively. And we are flying China Southern Airlines. There's no Air New Zealand. I'm hoping to get the 200 version, then I can do some Air New Zealand ops. But we're gonna do a flight from Auckland to Wellington with the China Southern Airlines. I thought that was the closest thing I could get with any sort of logic, right? I think China Southern flies to New Zealand. I tried to check if Delta United does it, but they don't do. So we can see this as a repositioning flight, domestic New Zealand flight, which I doubt they would do in real life, right? I don't even know if they use the 767 on this route, and I'm pretty sure China Southern doesn't even have 767s. That's only Delta United, right? Because only 38 were built. But oh well, we're in a sim. We can make our own scenarios. So we'll do this short flight from Auckland to Wellington, flying the 767-400. And as you can see, it's a very nice model. Not as nice as the 777, but it's still pretty nice. These GE engines, I mean, it's a beauty. One thing to remember with the FlightFactor, they have this three-stage system, right? So it's Ultimate, which is 777 Professional, which is 7667 and 757, and then the Advanced, which is the lowest tier, which is the A350. But this one looks pretty damn good. Not gonna complain. Oh, that was a bit. I think we broke the fourth wall. Yeah. Nah, but that's probably because of this walk-around tool that I'm using. But yeah, very beautiful plane. The 767-400 is a bit stretched, so not my favorite in terms of the exterior. I like the more proportionate ones, the 200 and 300 version. But it's still a very nice plane. A pretty cool livery as well. I don't think I've ever flown any sort of Chinese livery in either P3D or X-Plane, so this will be a first. And the only thing with the new update I noticed is that since I use 3 screens, I sometimes get my right screen, it becomes like a bit blurry, or it's some sort of haze that pops up, and I think it's the new lighting system that's somehow messing with that, so I hope they will fix that at some point. But let's see. And as you can see, we have a freeware Auckland that looks pretty okay, pretty decent. Not the best, but not the worst. And the reason why I'm flying a lot of flights in New Zealand is because I have the ortho set up here, and it's pretty nice. It's a pretty nice area to fly. So let's see. Should really get auto ortho, but I don't like the streaming one. I like kind of have my stuff on my hard drives, etc. So yeah, one of the reasons why I'm not getting a Microsoft Flight Sim, even though I'm not saying it's wrong. I mean, it's a very good solution in a sense. But oh well. Look at that 777 Air New Zealand. I assume it's one, right? Not maybe the fanciest model, but I guess it's a 200. Is that the Pratt and Whitney engines? God, I really can't tell. I'm too bad at that. Someone can correct me in the comment section. But yeah, let's get started. I'm not gonna keep you long. I've already tried to record this once with the CTD. I've now tried to disable the weather radar and or the one plugin that controls the weather radar and the train radar. So hopefully it will now work. I've heard that one causes CTDs, but let's see. I can't promise it will work, but we can try. In terms of actually the interior though, we could just quickly jump to that. It does look pretty good. It's nothing spectacular. Kind of maybe a bit better than Tolis level, I would say. But yeah, nothing super fancy. The cockpit though looks very nice. So let's get going. I'm gonna see if we can get into the plane. Why are we not getting into the plane? I did set up some new viewpoints. At least I thought I did, but I must actually have lost them. Let's see, change internal. Is this the default view now? That can't be, but okay. Let's slowly get in. Not sure what happened. For some reason I already installed it, but then the next time I popped up the X-plane, the whole plane was gone, so it was a bit weird. So let's hope we can get in here, because I'm pretty sure the doors are locked per default. So let's see. Maybe it has some 2D panels. Just afraid we're gonna hit it like. Maybe we can force it open. That's the way. Yeah, buddy. There we go. And now we can set up some new viewpoints. This is a bit annoying though, because I hate setting viewpoints. It takes time, right? And time is money. At least according to most people. And I tend to agree. If you have money, you can ensure you have more time. And time is the most valuable thing you can have. And I'm just gonna set up the viewpoints I had from before, which I kind of liked. So these ones, and then I had some in the back of the plane as well. But before we set those, we can put on the batteries, the standby power, put these bus ties, utility buses, get all of that going. Position lights, I think it's the white collision ones we want to use. And let's see if we can get moving backwards. Okay, let's see. Getting some weird artifacting on the right screen, but I've been getting that with all planes, so it is just what I assume the way it is with the aircraft. I do wonder if there's any way to make the camera go faster. Let me see, X-plane, move camera faster. Oh, there we go. Well, that's odd. Doesn't seem to. Shift only seems to get me going upwards, not. But that actually I can use. Yeah, now we're talking. Okay, so this will help. Okay, let's give us this viewpoint as well. So we have one from the interior. I guess that's always nice to have. Plus you can get some other ones from that. Let's move it sideways. Let's get one from the wing. That's usually a nice view to have. Maybe from like the engine. It's not looking the best, right, in terms of the fuselage. It's not bad, I'm not gonna say that, compared to, let's say, P3D and some of the planes there. But, yeah. Could, of course, be better. Let's add this maybe as the 5th one, and let's go outside. The only problem I have, I don't seem to get the sounds to work that nicely outside. Could be that I have the realistic sounds on, maybe that has some implications. Because I want to get one of these viewpoints as well, right? So you can see the engines. But oh well, let's see. But yeah, as you can see, it's kind of 777, the 400 variant. You have the overhead panel, that's kind of the old one. Everything seems to be working otherwise. Let me see now. That's odd. So Pi to ADC. But now it's activated. Okay. But yeah, otherwise nothing specific to report. You have an no EFB. Maybe that's something interesting to know. But you have this 2D EFB, which I think is pretty nice. I think you should have this option if you don't have another one, right? So you can set failures, etc. Do some things. No kind of takeoff calculations, etc. So keep in mind. We do have checklists though. So that is pretty nice actually. Like the pressurization mode selector, that should be on. Which one is that though? Need to. Let's see, these ones can go to auto, right? Is it this one that's the pressurization? Or they're maybe talking about this one, but we need the engines for those. Let's put a window here, we can put this one on. But yeah, let's not get too focused on that one. Isn't this the mode selector? Oh well. We'll see. But yeah, I've loaded up the plane already. So basically we can kind of get started with most things. Let's put this to align. We can put these on. Let's wait till we get the line there. Go auto on those. Let's see, because we're on with the external one. Let's put on one of the pumps so we don't forget that. Align, nav. So now we should have the align around 9 minutes. That should be fine. We don't have the weather radar, so that's the only sucky part. Even though we can't put it here, right? Because we don't use that plugin. Because of the CTDs, it might be crashing. Or the CTDs it might be causing, sorry. Yeah, the CTDs are the ones causing the crash. It's a weird... is this really the standard position? I can't believe that. Let me see, can you even change default view explain 12. Let me see. What's the view for the three? Something is off with this view. We'll just use the numpad to get us correctly set. Not the end of the world. Control numpad. Do we now have a new one? Let me see. No. Yeah, odd. Very strange with the views, but not the end of the world. Okay, let's see. We are aligning. Everything else is kind of... We can maybe get pack X going, since we have a bit of time. So we are flying NZAA, that's Auckland, and then Wellington. We are flying a flight number of 416 with a cruising altitude of 30,000. It's not gonna be a long flight, it'll be a relatively short one. We can set this, we can do around 80 packs. We have in-flight entertainment. Let's say we don't have Wi-Fi. I do have the boarding music for Southern. I think it's all of them in one package, so they'll be changing as we go. And then we do have the safety as well. And yeah, let's get going with the MCDU menu actually. Settings here is only for weight and then units. I wish their load manager could just load up. You need to set it up properly. I mean, it's fine if it would be nice, kind of the ground things that you get from the operations EFB, but it's not that interesting. I think you can only get, if I'm not mistaken, the forward stairs, the jet fuel, the bus, and then the rest are the ground handling equipment that I've put into place. But oh well, oh well. Okay, let's move to this one. We want to do position in it. We can take it from the... Can we take it from these? No, we cannot, but we can take it from this one, which will do the same. We can start loading up the info. That is correct thus far. 416 was the flight number. We're taking off from runway 05 right. I've actually forgotten again to I did it on the first attempt of this video to update the AirNac the AirAC. So basically the nav data, but we can make do with the old one because it seemed to work reasonably well. Wasn't too many changes luckily, so I guess benefit of trying to fly in New Zealand. We'll do Y506. Y506. Why are we getting now a? So that's Brooks and Limes. Let me just check quickly. So I'm gonna import it to Pilot 30C. So we need to have Carl as well, right? That might have been the mistake. So let me see route. And then it's the Southern Hemisphere one. Yeah, good. And now we can do the other one. Let me just open. So that's Y506 to Te Papa. And that's immediately where our arrival starts. We'll do ILS 34. With the Te Papa, we should do the fourth one, but we only have the 3 because it's a bit of an older AirNac, right? So it won't completely match Pilot 30C, but should be good enough. And there we go. Now we have the flight plan. We can activate and we can execute. It's still aligning 3 minutes, so we won't get anything up there yet, but good enough anyway. In terms of our zero fuel, 2917, reserves 4.2. Cruising altitude 30,000 feet, cost index of 119, cruising winds at 296, yeah, not 8. Oh, that's interesting, it's saying we don't have enough fuel. Could that really be the case? Nah, we will have enough fuel, right? Sorry, 296, 41. Thrust limitation, we don't have any selected temp. Couldn't find one in the flight plans. We'll just put 48. We'll do climb 1. Takeoff wise, flaps 1. We can use this reference speed since we can't calculate it to any larger extent anyway. The general plugin, we can just check the ground just to get the CG. So 24. And now we could actually connect to Pilot 280C We just have to put in the right departure, no sorry, departure, the right approach, which is the ILS, Umaga, so we'll load that. I'll close, I'll activate the approach. So you can see it's a pretty nice flight. We're gonna fly a bit like close to the coast, and then we're gonna come here into Wellington through the waterway, or whatever you wanna call it, the approach above the water. Let's connect. And let's see, I've had some issues with the, you know, the fuel panels, the radio panels going dark, so I'm hoping that's not gonna happen. It could be the risk, right, with the flying this in this new beta, right? Not everything will be aligned, and I know the 767 they're working on an update, which is why I'm fine with buying it, even if, you know, it might be some bugs, but I do hope it's not gonna be, you know, so I'm not gonna be able to fly it because of crashed desktops. But good, let's see. So that's what we need. Now we just need to make sure we get this one, the radio, set up properly. And the way to do that is by activating that one. Let me have a look. It's now using COM1, no, COM2. But COM2 is fine, we can use COM2. And we can go to 127, right? I think that was the 80s.
Local winds are 230
Yeah.
at 11 knots.
230 at 11 knots.
2,500 few clouds. Temperature 21.
21.
Current QNH is 1009er.
1009er.
Departing runway 05 right.
Okay, that's good to have that info. Let's go to the ground clearance. 1282. Swap that. And let's ask for clearance. China Southern 4003 heavy, ready to copy IFR clearance.
China Southern 4003
As you can see, this is not the digital one, this is the old school one.
November climb via the Brock 3 Quebec departure with the KRL
And the
transition,
squawk will
then is filed.
get
Expect departure runway 05 right. Climb to 10,000 feet via the departure. Expect higher clearances 5 minutes after departure. Auckland approach on 124.3. Squawk 4421.
China Southern 4003 Heavy is cleared to November Zulu Whiskey.
There we
November
go.
climb
TARA.
3 Quebec departure with the curl transition, then is filed. Climb to 10,000
And
feet
we're
via
ready
the
here,
departure.
so
Expect
that's
higher
perfect.
clearances 5 minutes after departure. Auckland approach on 124.3. Squawk 4421.
For some reason that one,
China Southern 4003
there we
heavy
go.
reback correct QNH is 1009.
That was a bit strange.
Contact Auckland ground on 1.
So as you can see, there's some
21.9er
bugs
ready
when
for
this,
pushback
which
again.
I was a bit aware of.
QNH is
It does seem
1009
more
ground
in depth
on
than the
121.9er China
Captain
Southern
Sim one though.
4003 Heavy.
Better weather radars, etc. Even though it won't work now because I've disconnected it. Yeah, as you can see, Teo. Yeah, we're not getting that terrain test. Yeah. Oh well, not the end of the world. Flight directors, we can put those on. We can put the speed a bit up. And then we're basically ready to start going. Let's check the wipers. They are working. Let's have a look at the Pack X one as well. Boardings, we'll ask them to expedite.
Is there any chance we could expedite the boarding? See what we can do.
We can start
No
the
promises.
APU. We can go to the stat page here to make sure that it's starting. And it does look to be starting. It's gonna be this one. You can already see the smoke, or the, well, I guess not the smoke, but the air being moved here by the APU. Or I guess that would be technically smoke. I guess the exhaust at least. As you can see also, it looks much clearer, the cockpits now. It's not perfect, sometimes it changes a bit abruptly with the with the light, but it does look much better than before when they were really dark. So that's a very, very nice addition. Let's put on all of these pumps. We don't need the central ones. It's running, so that's happy days. Let's get these ones, we get some pressure. We can disconnect. And the question is just, let me see the checklist if there's anything we need to. No, nothing interesting. The red one you said before start. Let me see. Okay, so nothing about the white one. Okay, that's good to know. So red anti-collision light. Let's put that on already, and we can remove the external power. Still looking good. And we need to get the EFB up again, just to get the GPU. We can remove the fuel truck, the passenger bus. We can get the stairs. We can get the chocks removed, because the boarding is completed.
When you are.
We can also remove all of the
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome aboard flight 4.
the yard design ones. And it's pretty cool because when they leave, you'll see the doors close by themselves. So I kind of like that. Yeah, you see there it's closing by itself. I think all of these doors, of course. Well, maybe not the main one. That's interesting. Let's have a look. Actually, I'm gonna jump back into the cockpit, and I'm gonna do the EFB. We are gonna close that one. Let's have a look. Those doors will close once those vehicles are gone. So let's see. I kind of like the China Southern livery. It's also very kind of simple, but a bit unique in its own right. I'm not sure though how much the Chinese fly down. I know there's been some, maybe it was mainly with Australia, right? Some trade issues, but yeah, interesting nevertheless. Let's see, we have the flight controls here, we have the gear. So not that many options. I'm not sure if this is correct or if, yeah, it could be, right? I assume, and I guess you want to keep this dark when you do the takeoff. Let's put this into legs page. Yeah, I know the nav data is out of date, unfortunately. One great thing also with the update, my FPS is much improved. So that's really kind of big upgrade. Okay, ground handling. We can hide everything. Good. We are ready to go. China Southern 4003 heavy, ready for pushback.
China Southern 4003 heavy pushback
Let's
approved.
use that pushback route that I did for my last flight.
China Southern 4003 heavy.
Okay, packs are off. I like that they are that automatically. So that's good. Let's see if this one. Nothing that we want, but thank you. We can also use the EFB to make PAs. So that's good to be aware of. Pushback approved. Let's get the vehicle. We can see the tow coming there. How's it looking in the back of the plane? Outside. Nothing too much happening. Let's hope we can get this full flight. It's not a long one, right? I know some have CTD issues when they fly long flights with this one. We'll do flaps 5 and reject the takeoff. We can probably do that after we start the engines. Do they have a... yeah, this seems to be the secret click spot maybe for... It's that one or the thrust one for the takeoff. Okay, let's see now. They are... Okay, let's see. Connect to our lovely plane so we can get going up in the skies. I really want to see how it looks. I've done some test flights just to see a bit the different weather teams, etc. They all look pretty nice. Actually, talking about that, do we have the right? Yeah, we have real weather. Download on. Very good. I always get a bit scared about that if the clouds look too good. There we go. Everything is up and about. And we just need to start to push, right? Yeah, everything is looking good. Let me just double check everything. On. Yes, yes, yes. We can wait. Can we technically put these on already? I guess we can. Okay, let's start the push. No, we don't want that. We want the. No. Delete segment. How do I delete? That's what we want to do. Okay, parking brake's been released. We are starting pushbacks. We can start engines. We'll start with the right one first. Let's go above 150. I know there's some that are saying you have to really be careful when you introduce the fuel. And now I'm actually gonna check 767 FlightFactor fuel injection.
Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the screen for the 46 demonstration. Thank you for flying with us.
Okay, no, couldn't find anything. We do have the test for the fire, right? Which works. But I forgot to test that earlier. This one also works. The thing that doesn't work is the circuit breakers. Oh, and here we have the EFB, right? So that's actually pretty neat. Totally forgot about that fact. Makes it a bit easier to bring it up. Don't have to use the extra panel. Okay, let's start the left one. We are above 150. I'll insert fuel. The only thing I don't get really is the sounds out here. You have to go like outside to get it, but oh well, minor issue. Sounds pretty good, the sounds. What I really like though is the sounds you get when you put on all the packs and stuff. It sounds very, very nice actually. I know the 777 has better sounds, but I'm a sucker for the 767. I really like it for some reason. Same as the A300. Just a bit old school, and I don't have any, at least any conscious memory of ever flown on either of them, but I'm pretty sure I've probably flown them as a little baby back in the day. There we go. Both engines are up. We can connect those. We can go auto and listen to that sound that comes on. Hopefully you can hear it. This sounds really, really good actually. Okay, let's see. We We had the red collision. What's the altitude at our airport? It's gonna be around 41, so we can really go down with this one. Landing altitude 40, right? Anything else we need to do? EEC mode. Okay, put those on. Gear is down. Go to reactive takeoff. They're pushing us back very nicely. I wonder if this one has business class in real life. If well, I guess technically the China Southern don't fly this aircraft, so. But I guess if they fly the 767, let's have a look at that. Actually, China Southern Airlines. They used to be part of SkyTeam. Their current fleet is no 767s, but I guess they have used them at some point. Yeah, from 92 to 98. Okay, we can set the parking brakes. Okay, we can arm that and put LNAV on already. Let's have a look here. This looks reasonable. It's gonna be a short taxi. Let's actually get that taxi. China Southern 4003 Heavy, ready to taxi. Let's wait a bit. We can disconnect and give the hand signals.
China Southern 4003 Heavy runway 05 right. Taxi via taxiways Delta 8. Mike. Alpha. Alpha 10.
We
Hold
can
short
shut the
runway
APU.
05 right.
Runway 05 right. Taxi via taxiways Delta 8. Mike, Alpha,
And I
Alpha
guess
10.
we
Hold short
don't.
runway
We can have a look at
05
this
right,
one.
China Southern 4003.
Elevators are working. Ailerons are working. And flaps are being set. Trim is a good question though. What trim setting should we be at? 2.7. So let's see, 2.7. We don't need a big trim at all actually. Like that, right? Rudder working nicely. Tiller. Maybe we can see it only when we get going. It's disconnected. He looks pretty happy.
Cabin is secure, ready for departure.
Maybe I actually want to push this one a bit forward. Let me have a look for the view. Because now if I turn to the left, will I still see the... I'll still see a bit of the chair. I want to avoid seeing the chair when I look left. Good. And right. Looks pretty good. Nice. Okay. We are ready to go. I think. Did we get taxi clearance? We did get taxi clearance, so that's good. And our taxi route is, as I anticipated, forward and then to the right here. And then continue and then left and then forward and then left. So yeah, looking pretty good. We don't need this anymore. We can leave this dark. I think so at least. Things seems to be, knock on wood, working now. We haven't seen any crash of systems, internal systems. We can see our fuel up here, etc. Hopefully it stays this way. Would be great if this one was if this one did work, because I really like the 767s. We don't have any VSP selected though, so that's a bit problematic. Did we get the seatbelt signs on? We do have that. We can maybe do some public address.
Welcome on board our flight. We'll be departing soon.
Let's
We're
see.
aiming for a smooth
Tiller is
flight.
working.
Thanks for flying, and we'll keep you informed of any changes as they happen.
Let's look on the outside. Seems to taxi pretty nicely. I do wonder though, maybe the 7, because I was thinking like if you could do A330 Neo, couldn't you do the 767 Neo? But potentially I guess there just wasn't the economies for that, and now we have the 787, right? Okay, let's see. Okay, we'll turn here. And we'll continue taxiing. I love though, we're flying a Chinese airline, then we have an American pilot. I doubt that would be the case in a real life. The only thing with PackX, you should have more, like the Luke Air Tool, a bit more options to tweak. I do prefer PackX though, it's just easier to use, and I only want it for certain things, right? Okay, what's our... Do we have the ground speed showing? We want to go to the end and then turn to the left. Taxi is pretty nice though, which all planes will explain does. I mean, not gonna lie. Okay, and let's see. We have about 8 hours left if we continue with this pace towards our destination. Which we won't, of course, but would have been a bit funny. Let's have a look on the outside. Yeah, looking decent. Anything else we need to think of? Now let's just hope we can get the takeoff going properly, and that we avoid crashes. Oh yeah, taxi lights. That's something we totally forgot about. How do they look? They look pretty nice. I know some of them needs to be updated. I think at least the Tolis ones didn't really work with this new lighting engines, so it's gonna be very fun to see all these updates starting to come in. Okay, let's see. We should be getting handed over to the tower frequency very shortly.
China Southern 4003 heavy contact Auckland Tower on 118.7.
Tower on 118.7 China Southern 4003 heavy.
Do we need to go all the way to the end? Might be the safest though to taxi to get all the runway. China Southern 4003 heavy, ready for takeoff.
China Southern 4003 heavy winds are 230 at 11 knots. Runway 05 right cleared for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff.
Runway 05 right cleared for takeoff China Southern 4003 heavy.
We can close the door. Yeah, the 767 I guess has a little bit of history with hijackings, etc. If you think of that one African one, was it Kenya Airways or one of those? And then of course 9/11 and some of these other ones. Very, very tragic, of course. Okay, we'll turn here to the right. I wish we could see fuel here instead of having to look up here, but just a minor inconvenience. Anything else to consider? Don't think so. We'll just turn here. Actually, I'm thinking about it. Maybe this turn is more if you have gone all the way to the end of the runway, but I guess we can have use of all of the runway for the takeoff anyway. You know, it's always a new plane. It's easy to mess it up. I've done that plenty of time. Tolis A340, messed that up. IXEG 737, messed that up. You always remember those, right? When you mess it up. The harsh truth. Okay, let's see now. We are turning here. We are gonna turn left. Sorry, right. So we wanna get aligned with the runway. We're gonna brake. What we'll do next is we'll start to throttle up. Have a look. Yeah, it seems nice. Toga set, we'll release the brakes. Try to make sure we're on the line and push forward with the yoke. Okay, wish us good luck. Airspeed is alive. Looking very nice. Oh, we don't wanna. God damn it. That's why you shouldn't change the views. At least I shouldn't. I can't multitask. Okay, we can release those. We're getting to rotate and V1. And we're already kind of by ourselves. Pointing upwards. And there we go. We have a liftoff. Okay. Positive rate of climb. Gear coming up. I hope it... Oh, we do want to pitch up though. Yeah, too low. Let's change the V nav, that should help us a bit. Not sure how it works though, but I hope it's very nice. We can already go to flap 0, there's no point maintaining the flap level. I always think it's basically a fire in the plane, because when I see the weird flickering on my right screen, you won't notice it though, so for you it's gonna look fine, but... Okay, let's see now. What's the speed? Oh, that's not good. Let's go to... but we are on V nav. Okay, now we are on climb. Okay, good. That was close to becoming problematic. Luckily it did not. We have the N1, L nav and V nav now set. How does it look from the outside? Looks very good. I can probably start going up on the settings actually. Let's see, we need to trim this one out a bit. But yeah, I can probably start, just because the FPS is so, well, not perfect now, it's around 40, but I guess FlightFactor isn't the most optimized one.
4003 Heavy, good day. Radar contact 4 nautical miles east of Auckland International Airport.
Okay, let's turn in. Looks pretty good. I guess this is some mist or similar. Okay, we are climbing. We can go to standard. Did I put this one correct? Yeah, well, we're on standard now. Should have done that one. Maybe we can put this one on so we get some more values. Okay, let's see. We are losing a bit of... Why is that our selected speed? Is it because... I have no clue. It makes no sense. God damn it, why is that closed? Need to move that window. Okay, we'll climb again.
China Southern
now it's working.
4003 heavy climb and maintain flight level 170, contact New Zealand Center
17
on 119.2.
Climb and maintain flight level 170 center on 119.2 China Southern.
Let's trim down a bit. We can turn off these ones. Bless myself. Goddamn. Okay.
China
Continuing
Southern
to climb.
400
Chris Pine is back. Let's trim up a bit. It flies pretty well. Not gonna say it's amazing. It doesn't feel as good as the 777, but it doesn't feel bad at all, actually. But yeah, you gotta really work the trim. It's not fly-by-wire, right? So it's a bit more brutal in that sense. Like, I have a hard time finding a good trim balance. Should we have put a higher climb setting? Feels like we're really not getting there in terms of the speed. What was it? 30,000 we're gonna be getting, so I'm gonna put that in already. And I'm also already gonna put in, at least it's now wanting us to increase the speed, so that's a good sign. Okay, let's see, we're coming up to 10,000 feet. Technically we could already... Oh, is that one... Did we forget to turn that on, or...? Oh well. Not a big difference, maybe it's automatic actually. Okay, let's see, we can trim down quite a bit. We can turn on the autopilot, see how that one handles this. God, getting some weird green lights also on the right.
Gentlemen, we are now passing through 10,000
So yeah, that's something to be aware of. It works, but it's a bit iffy.
As a reminder, please keep your seatbelt fastened while you are seated.
I mean not the plane, but the new beta. It works, and it looks amazing, right? But there's always some new visual bugs, and these ones, I hate these ones because they immediately kind of break the immersion. I hope they fix those. Okay, we are trying to speed up so we can continue climbing. Flaps are up, so that's not being problematic. That one is off. We can do 2 for the landing. We can technically already start thinking about the landing or the approach. Yeah, that's fine. It's a ILS one, right? Let's see if we... What we're talking about. 340 in terms of the course. Is it automatic actually now, or... nav radio. Yeah, maybe it's changed to an automatic one now. We forgot, of course, to put on the clock, which is now being turned on. So weird. I guess let's put it in then. 1099. Oh no, sorry, we had it there already. 1099, 341. Yeah, that makes sense. In terms of the landing, 460 should be our barrow. So let's put that in. Very sensitive actually. 4, 6, 0. There we go. We have the barrow set. Okay, that's good. We have the landing altitude. We don't need that one.
China Southern 400.
Lights are off.
Heavy climb.
So we're above
And maintain
10,000.
flight level 230.
Climb and maintain flight level 230 China Southern 4003 heavy.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. Can you set outside views with the... I'm just gonna guess you can't, but let me see. I'm gonna check this. Oh, you can actually. Okay, now we're talking. Okay, so we really don't want this one. What we would rather do we have any external view that would give us... I would want to use the sea view, but the problem is that biplane. Ride along. That seems to be okay one. Maybe if we tweak it a bit and then add this as the 6th one. So this is a bit nicer actually. Yeah, okay, I'm starting to learn the X-plane camera system. Actually very cool.
China Southern 400.
I need to get one of the wing views.
Climb and maintain flight level 300.
Climb and maintain flight level 300
Okay, we got our final. As you can see, some bugs, but I mean generally it's just starting to look very good, specifically when you have the photo reel. It's just yeah, getting better and better. But there's ways to go, not gonna lie. It's not, I don't think it's as good as people say, because you could still get X-Plane looking very nice before, but it is a big step on the way. Okay, we're climbing through some clouds. Of course, we don't have the weather radars. We can't know. I'm hoping they fix that bug so we can get the weather radar back. I don't know why the weather radar is usually a culprit in a lot of different flight sim add-ons. And in a lot of different games. Same with the P3D, right? Think of Milvis, for example. Okay, we're still climbing. Still some ways to go. Okay, look at this, getting above the cloud base. This is looking really nice actually. A lot of peeping and stuff. Are they trying to talk to me or am I... Oh, and I guess we're leveling off now. Automatically, right? Let's see. We're gonna break through that one if we don't start leveling off ASAP. Yeah, need to level off quicker, and there we go. So just about, but look at these clouds. These are looking absolutely fantastic actually. Even better from the cockpit. Yeah, X-Plane is really, it's really getting there. And now with the nice looking brighter cockpit, as you can see it goes a bit darker and bright, but I'm pretty sure that's just because the add-on isn't, you know, yet updated to the newest X-Plane standard. But let's see. Here you can do some of the... Okay, not all of these work, but oh well. Flight recorder. That works. Service interphone. Okay, pretty cool. So this, let's see when we do the VNav descent, but thus far I like this plane a lot more than the Captain Sim version. Even though it's a different one, it's not the 300, right? Let's do this one. Yeah, I need to set up some nice viewpoints. I'm really starting to like X-Plane with and look how nice this cockpit can look before, I mean, now it's gonna go away, right? Because of the cube mapping, I'm gonna presume. But imagine how nice this can look when it's all working, right? Let's have a look at the forums as well, the discussions. China Southern Airlines has a crazy huge fleet. 675 planes. They even have the Comac C909 and the C19. That's pretty dope. Only 24 have been built though, the C19. So let's see. C09. Not the prettiest one. Has it had any accidents though? Doesn't look like it. Which is always a pretty good, you gotta give them credit. It's like the Russian planes. Some of them are really terrible, but some have actually been pretty decent. Okay, so 80 nautical miles to go before top of descent. What's Pilot ADC giving us? It's giving us about the same. Let's have a look at the weathers from the flight report, since we don't have any more info. At around our flight level of 300, we won't have any jet stream, but we'll have a bit of a tailwind actually. At flight level, no, that's 24. It will come a bit from the right. Yeah, exactly. This seems correct. No anti-ice warning, so that's good. Okay. I'm gonna presume all that beeping is our lovely crew, cabin crew taking care of stuff in the back. I really hope they had fixed that error, right? The weird black things that's been introduced. But oh well, could be worse. I'm just quickly gonna pause. I wanna check. Cloud quality is high. I can probably go up with a bit of these. You know, as you can see, I'm keeping it very kind of low, just to ensure that I have stable frames. It's nicer to fly that way. Okay, let's see. In terms of other planning, let's have a look at the missed approach, because it seems to be a bit interesting. So, missed approach max 185, track 340, runway centerline to Ganji. And then turn right to track 347 to 3000 feet and then expect radar vectors. Do we have that in here? Ganji? No, we do not. It's probably been a change. But oh well, that should be fine. Can you hide this one? Maybe not, but I don't think it's needed, right? It's kind of, in a good way, kept a bit low. And what can you do? Can you change these inboard? Okay, that's nice, very nice to see. Something is in up here. So far, so good actually. I'm very happy, and oh God, I thought that was the moon, but it's just, it's either a cloud or some. No, it's splatter on the on the wind screen. But no, this actually looks it looks very good. Not gonna lie. Beep beep beep. And does this one, it's showing our position, the IRS. Yeah, looking good. So yeah, very nice actually with this this one, seeing it work this well. I can't at least complain. Oh, they added raked wingtips actually. I didn't even think of
China
that,
Southern
but I think you can see it
403
here, right?
TAP4 Alpha arrival. Papa
That's pretty
transition
cool.
ILS approach to runway 34 with the Amaga transition. at
God, I really
Wellington
hope they can
International.
get, they fix,
Expect
they
the
come with an update so we
TPA-54
can get
Alpha arrival with the T-Papa transition
that very
and
nice,
ILS approach to runway 34 with the Omega
the
transition
way it
China
looked
Southern
before it changed to the
4003
more
heavy.
darker one, darker tone. Oh, sorry, not 38, 37 747-400s were delivered. This is how it looks in real life, United. It is a nice looking plane, not gonna lie, not gonna lie. Oh, it was sold to Bahrain as a VIP transport. Interesting. One of the planes. There's still some of these being delivered, so the question is how long will this one be produced?
China Southern 4003 heavy descend via the TPAP-4 Alpha arrival with its Papa transition to cross Amaga at or above 3,000 feet QNH is 1006 at Wellington International.
Descend via to cross Umaga at 3,000 feet. Let's put that in so we have that already prepared for when we start our descent. Let's have a look also at what the flight plan said about the weather at our destination. Didn't check that, did I? Nope. No volcanic ash, no SIGMEDs, no air meds, no tropical cyclone SIGMEDs. Destination should be about, well, 7 knots from 0 to 0. So that's pretty fine. Broken at 2.4. QNH of 1009. So quite similar to what we already have. So that should be fine. Let's have a look on the outside. Yeah, it looks damn good. We're really getting close to nailing these clouds, I feel like, on the next plane. The problem with that is that it's gonna get me to really want to fly X-plane more, which is not a bad thing necessarily. Even though I still use P3D as my main sim. Might have to reevaluate that if X-plane continues to develop. It's just the scenery that I would like to see some improvements. But I have no clue what they're planning on in that regard. Okay, let's see now. 80 nautical miles to go. Okay, let's see. Soon we'll start descending. That will be interesting. Hopefully it will go well. But we shall see. Let's see what they're saying in this beta forum, if there's something interesting. Yeah, there's some interesting pictures people are showing. It looks definitely much better. Okay, let's see if we start descending now. I'm really interested in seeing the descent VNAV, because that's usually the one that has more problems. Yeah, a lot of people are talking about crashes, etc., which I guess makes sense to a certain regard. Okay, we got an FMS message saying drag is required. What's the fuel situation? So our Trappa will be at 8. Is that aligned with what we have in the flight plan? Let's have a look. Trappa should be at, or Tepapa, not Trappa, 8.1. So we're looking good. We're a bit higher consumption than maybe we anticipated, but nothing problematic. Let's see if we are, where do we want to be actually at that? 24,000? No, 13,000. What does Pilot ADC want us to be at? Tapapa 1,450. Can we? It's gonna be tight. It's about 35. I think we should be fine. Let's see. This is one thing I want to show. Look at this. No more pixelation. That's a huge upgrade from the latest X-Planes. That really was ugly, and they seem to have fixed that. So that's huge. That's a big one. Let's see. Okay, continuing to descend. Slow and steadily. We're getting some turbulence. There we go. We are beneath the crowd layer. Still looks a bit weird. I don't know why, but some of these that gets that makes it just look a bit off. I think it's just the layering somehow. And I still think it can look better when looking above. I think they're actually, I really like the P3D volumetric clouds. They're pretty good at that. Okay, let's see now. Do we have a connection between those? I do think so. We shouldn't have any discontinuities, and we don't seem to have that, so that's good news. Looks pretty good also in terms of our descent. 8.4. How the hell are we supposed to be getting an increase? Oh, we were at 9.4. Sorry, that's why. So yeah, we're actually pretty fine with the fuel burn. And we have had this in 23 minutes since I put the chrono on. Let's maybe do an announcement to our dear passengers. I guess the easiest way is to press the PA one. And can't really hear what they say, but I guess it's aligned with what I pressed. Okay, let's see. Continuing to descend. Did we forget to press anything? I guess cargo heat. Could I put that on as well? I'm not sure we need to. Not sure about the APU gen. Do you keep that on? Because if I don't keep it, you get an ECAM message, right? So I always wonder about that. But oh well. Oh well, oh well. Okay, and let's see. Let's keep Pilot TDC open on our other screen just so we can follow along if we get any sort of altimeters, etc. They're saying 1006 at Wellington, but I think it's gonna be a bit higher than that. But let's see, let's see. Okay. Continuing to descend slowly and steadily. Yeah, looks like we are pretty much descending in alignment with the approach. We should be at around 3000 once we get on the glide slope at IMP with 9.1 nautical miles from the runway. Ah, we're having some rain. Was that in our own? Let me check my flight plan. Actually, I don't remember seeing anything about rain, but then again. Nothing at rain. Broken at auto, broken at 24. Nope. So we might not. But let's see. I need to get some more outside viewpoints. Yeah, we're looking pretty good with the fuel. But it does look really good. I mean, the distance one, similar to what I've said before, like the distance one looks really good. The close-up ones, a bit less so, but it's getting there. The theme of the clouds is really nice, though. I'll explain that, like the theme, the kind of vibe that you get from it. More majestic. which is something I really like, and something, you know, when you fly yourself, you look outside. If unless there's like boring clouds, usually they can look quite nice actually. I'm wondering when they're gonna stop 767 production stop. 2027. God damn.
Altimeter setting.
What's the 777X news, if there are any? They're doing brake testing now, it seems like. Okay, altimeter setting. But what's the transition altitude? It's no clue. But have we gotten any more information? Maybe we can ask for altimeter. China Southern 4003 Heavy. Say altimeter.
China Southern 4003 Heavy QNH is 1006.
Okay, 1006.
QNH is 1006 China Southern 4003 Heavy.
Let's go with that for now. Hopefully it is correct. If it's not, well, we tried. Can't blame us for that.
China Southern
The VNAV has been working very well, so I'm
Heavy
actually
contact Wellington International approach.
super happy about that.
Approach on 122.3 China Southern 4003 Heavy.
Carry on items either in the seat back pocket or under the seat when it's
Approach China Southern 4003 Heavy descending via the TPAP-4A arrival with the T-Papa transition to 3,000 feet.
China Southern 4003 Heavy, good day. Continue descent via the TAP for Alpha arrival with that Papa transition.
Continue descent via the TPAP-4 Alpha arrival with the T-Papa transition China Southern 4003 Heavy.
Let's see what they said. Continue descent via, yeah, that's good, all good. Trying to see if there's any VNAV solution. Weird. Some seems to not have the VNAV issue. Yeah, look at these. It does look pretty damn good from some perspectives. Yeah, it's definitely an improvement, not gonna lie. Oh, interesting. Actually, the only problem with having the outside viewpoint, such as this one, is that it seems to be changing, right, when the plane is changing. So we get... yeah. So that's something good to remember. When you set those outside ones, you should probably do it with the standard camera or the free movement camera. But the problem with the free movement, but maybe the free movement one, and then hopefully that should work. One thing we did forget totally was the landing lights. We're below 10,000, so let's get those up. We have speed on our auto brakes on 2. Speed brakes are armed. We're coming in for the approach. As you can see, it's a very low layer, right? It was supposed to be at, let me see, 1,200. There's few, so we might actually have to do a bit of a descent with yeah, drag required. We know that. Let's add flaps 1. That might help. Let's see. Can we see? Yeah, we can see the slats having been deployed now. We are still not descending. Hopefully we'll start soon though. We're still on LNAV. Now we're starting to descend. Yeah, but the lights is looking really good. Not gonna lie. Let's put on these lights as well, so we are ready. Anything else to think of? Don't think so. That's been very nice. I'm very happy now with as long as we don't get any CTD, knock on wood. I think the 767 is just a very nice aircraft by FlightFactor. Of course, this is the first time getting a full flight in that case, so it might not be the most most verifiable data. But if it continues like this, at least it should be good. What was that? Was that the glide slope? Let's see. Of course, the ILS might not work perfectly, but let's see.
China Southern 4003
I haven't heard of any issues with that, so I'm hoping it will work fine.
QNH is 1006 cleared direct Tumra, then cleared for heels approach to runway 34 with Tumra transition at Wellington International Airport.
QNH is
Let's go to
1006
flaps
cleared
5.
direct Omega, then cleared for the ILS approach to runway 34 with the Omega transition at Wellington
Should
International
help us
Airport,
slow
China
down a
Southern
bit.
4003 heavy.
But yeah, look at these clouds. It's wow. I already thought the X-plane was looking damn good with the clouds, but they are, yeah, they're getting just, you know, fix all the bugs, fix all the minor ones. I've understood that it's the live, because I have live weather, right? That's the one that's causing the issues. But if and the weather presets are really nice. But if you get the live weather one working amazing, then that's gonna be super cool actually. Okay, let's see. Are we still a bit above? They want us to go down to 2000. Let's put that in. Let's add speed brakes, because we're way above. What the hell? Why did it give us such a weird... Yeah, get us descending. My god. I'm gonna drop the gears. Let's see if that works. That should help us slow down. Yeah, okay, so a bit weird with the VNAV. Nothing crazy bad, but it will make this very tight if we're gonna actually do this. Let's add as much flaps as we can. Guess we can go to full flaps almost. Speed brake extended. Yeah, we wouldn't want to have that extended simultaneously. But I'm gonna keep it just to get down. We are gonna be high though. There's no way we're gonna make this unless we can really... what? I hate the VNAV system on this. Let's just do speed. We can do that, and then we can keep the speed at 165, right? Okay, we can probably not descend that quickly. Okay, let's see. Okay, we are on full. We have speed brakes, which we shouldn't have, of course. So let's see, once we get this one somewhat aligned. Okay, we can see the airport now. I'm gonna go with the approach one. And I'm gonna remove the speed brakes. I'm gonna arm them. Let's see. And let's do this the manual way. We'll start with the auto throttle. Get that one. And then we can start with the... There we go. So now we're doing this manually. Okay, so Wellington, here we come. So a bit of issue with the... I'm not sure, maybe I didn't really follow with the VNAV properly. You know, maybe I should have added the speed brake. That could have helped, right? So I'm not gonna blame FlightFactor for that one. And let's see, we have a headwind, but we're still a bit low. So let's try to add a bit more thrust. China Southern 4003 heavy, established on final.
China Southern 4003 heavy, this is Wellington International approach on 122.3. Sorry, I can't handle that request.
Okay, we'll just land. Maybe they gave us the landing clearance already and I missed that. Okay, let's see. Can we do this? This will be tight. Come on. Oh, we're 100. Let's crab a bit. Oh. Okay, let's see. Reversers full. I'm gonna go manual. Yeah, that was a bit of a... Luckily those reversers are super effective. Let me see if I can get those. Deactivated. Let me see. There we go. Whew, we made it. My god. I always get a bit, you know, with the non-flat runways, because I'm so used to them for P3D. And I also realized I didn't set up the XP realistic properly. So head anticipation, I want to keep that around 10. Usually on this one. I don't like when it's moving too much. And then touchdown front, I usually go down to 25, should be okay on these. And the way to do that one actually. Yeah, that's a good question. How do we get... Maybe we just have to clear it. Yeah, okay, that worked. Okay, we did it. Let's get back to the airport. China Southern 4003 heavy, ready to taxi.
China Southern 4003 heavy, this is Wellington International approach on 122.3.
Let's
Sorry, I
add a
can't
bit
handle that request.
Wait, let me have a look. What happened? We got... we never got cleared to... That's odd. We got cleared to the wrong frequency. So that's why we never got the landing. Yeah. Okay. I'll blame Pilot ADC for that one. Let me see. Auto brakes are off. Let's turn so we get back to where we want to park. Okay. What's the stat page telling us? It's telling us that the APU is running. Good. Happy days. I really want to know what the... I'm gonna close Pilot to see what the landing rate. I hope the replay will work as well. So let's get in, park somewhere, and then... I thought Wellington was going to be a larger airport though, but this is a really short runway. So let me actually have a look. Wellington Airport runway length. God damn, 1,850. That's a very short And what's the 767-400 landing runway? Let me see. $6,000, $8,000. So takeoff, it needs a lot actually. It needs 3,290. So maybe this airport is too tiny actually. I don't know why. Let me see. Wellington 767. Hell, even a 747 has been able to land at this airport. So, and there's a picture of this Air China Southern landing at this, or not landing, but at least being parked here. So maybe not totally unreasonable. Let's turn in here. We can park. Try to figure out if one of these is for the larger planes. Maybe this 26 will do. But yeah, very fun flight actually. I do really like the 767. It's great to see one that's working somewhat well with the approach. So let me see. I think this should be fine. It reminds me a bit, this aircraft, of the A340 in the sense that it's such a long aircraft, or the fuselage. Let's see if we can get no jetways possible here, but we can turn off the two engines. We can shut the packs. I really like the sounds on this one. It's not like the best, but it's pretty good, to be honest. But yeah, we did it. First flight completed in 12.2, and first flight with the 767-400ER version. So that's happy days. And let's jump back in. Hopefully I can fix that default view. Let's see if pilot to ADC requires something. Probably a seatbelt sign off. We can hear the sound from within the aircraft actually. Let me have a look at the PEA.
Dear ladies and gentlemen, this is the captain speaking.
And now we can hear.
I hope you've enjoyed your flight on this aircraft.
Yeah, deboarding and flight 301.
On behalf of FlightFactor and Step to Sky, I wish you all.
So a bit higher than I would have wanted. I do like to get it below 300. It's not the end of the world. Let's have a look at the replay mode. Hopefully that works and wasn't bugged out with the new beta. I remember when the replay mode never worked. Those were some rough times. Okay, here we go. Let's do an outside perspective. I think should be nice. I think the approach was fine after we forcefully got it down. But the landing itself was pretty awful. We were way too much to the right here at the end. I tried to crab a bit, but let's see if the rudder notices it. So I tried to get down a bit. And we do get down pretty okay. And then we start a bit going back and forth, right? Must have been awful being a passenger on this flight. But I mean, all landings that you can walk away from our good landing, so I'll look at it positively. Let's have a look from the passenger's perspective though, how the landing must have been. I only have the one, right? Wait, I don't want the one with the closed window. No clue how that one works. Maybe there's a better one, maybe I could use this perspective. Yeah, look at how we're basically going back and forth, back and forth. So we come down, then with the nose. Okay, it's fine. Not the best, but not the worst. But yeah, apart from that, I guess that's it. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down below. Any recommendations, etc. I do always like to hear that, or how to fly the plane, etc. But otherwise, thank you for watching and have a good rest of the day. Until next time, bye bye.